this?
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
Welcome to Wall Building 101. As you could guess, this guide will focus on one single ability of Mei, the Ice Wall. First, a bit of trivia. Ice Wall is 5 separate pillars, 400 HP each. It takes half a second to grow, it lasts 5 seconds, and it takes 10 seconds to cool down. The cooldown starts when you start setting up the wall, thus the minimal time frame between two walls is 5 seconds. You can set the wall up in two fashions, sideways and longways. The default is always sideways, remember that. Now to the actual guide. Wall is one of the most versatile abilities in the game. All walls can be divided into three categories: aggressive walls, passive walls, and defensive walls. Passive walls are any walls that you need for mobility or utility. They're the easiest to use of the three, as all that's needed for them is for you to do your homework. Roam the maps a bit and learn the spots where you can wall yourself up high. Don't hesitate to take a high ground with a wall. If a Hanzo can do it, so should you. Camping a high ground while waiting for an enemy widow? Do that. Take on one shot, it's not fair, so there are no holds barred when playing against them. Utility walls require a little bit more teamwork. A good example of an utility wall is when you use that to stop your friendly Bob in a spot you need him at. There are virtually no mistakes you can make when placing a passive wall. It's quite simple. If you need it, use it. Just don't forget to destroy the wall when you don't need it anymore. Also, remember that you can use the wall to boost one of your teammates up high. Your Ana will be grateful for a good vantage point. Defensive walls are any walls that you place with an intent of blocking something with them, be that raw damage, hooks, ults, or anything that can possibly kill you. A wall off of an enemy Widowmaker standing on a high ground would be defensive. This kind of wall is simple in its intent, but it's hard to use because it requires speed and reaction, or you won't deny anything with it. You can block an Earth Shatter if you're quick enough. Another use of a defensive wall is not to block damage, but to dodge it. Simply lift yourself or your teammate up high, and maybe that'll buy them enough time to survive. A wall that makes an ulting Genji climb it and lose time is defensive. A wall that freezes a supercharger is defensive. Also, never forget about your network latency. The greater it is, the faster you need to be, to the point of knowing when to wall before your enemy knows they're going to use the ability you want to block. Aggressive walls are any walls that you place with an intent of killing someone as a result. The simplest example is a classic wall off on any map with a choke point. You wall, you freeze, you kill. Those walls don't require you to be fast. Sometimes being slow and patient will net you a better result. But if you want this kind of a wall to be successful, you need to be smart, much smarter than anyone else in the enemy team. As soon as your enemy realizes that you're there, waiting to wall them off, they will try and bait the wall out. Another subtype of an aggressive wall is a wall that's used to combo with someone. Lifting up an enemy bastion so your hog could hook them is a textbook example of an aggressive combo wall. The simple answer to the stated question is now. Using a wall too early and not utilizing its effect to the maximum is still better than missing the window of opportunity and not utilizing its effect at all. If you get your wall baited out of you and lock the enemy team behind the choke, it's alright. You now have some time to regroup with your team and you make the enemy waste time. It's not the ideal outcome, but it's still better than walling when the enemy team is already in. The harder answer is as close to the event as possible. If you're planning to block a hook, block it on the fly. If you're planning to boost an enemy bastion for a hook, boost him when your hog is already pressing the button. If you're planning to wall a Rain off, wall him off the second he crosses the line. It may be extremely hard to do because of the ping issues and because the higher you climb, the better your enemy becomes. The better they are, the quicker they are, and they can be quick enough to decide not to waste a hook when the wall is up. Unfortunately, there is only one way to learn when to wall perfectly. You have to wall. Experience is everything when playing Mei, and this goes double to placing walls. The simple answer is wherever the hell you need. You're not limited to choke points or particular enemies. If you wait for a perfect opportunity, you will waste a smaller one and you still might not get that perfect opportunity. Don't think. Walling should be instinctive and reactive. Thinking means wasting precious time. Every second you spend aiming the wall is a wasted second. Think fast, wall fast, and if you miss it, well, maybe your enemy won't notice it, and even if they will have to change their plans, and this is exactly what you want to do. Make your enemy change their plans. The harder answer is, ironically, still wherever the hell you need. Is the criteria of need that change. The better you get, the less mistakes you will be making, the less holes you will be leaving, the more damage you will be doing with your walls. Everyone knows that ultimately Overwatch comes down to the smallest place. You place a wall right where the enemy Ana is instead of a pillar to the left or to the right, and you buy your team a second of enemies without healing. This second may end up in a frag, where otherwise that Ana would heal the target. This question is so much harder to answer because it ties directly to your playstyle. Note that I am not saying preferred playstyle. A true Mei player has no luxury of choosing just one. Of course, different players will fit into some playstyles better than the others. For example, I'm a much better aggressive Mei than defensive Mei. But you will have to be flexible in order to win against different opponents and different team comps. I'll cover playstyles in another guide as it's a whole other topic, and this is a guide on walls. Or rather, was a guide on walls. I have nothing more to tell you. There are many things that you must figure out on your own. If you really want to learn more from me, subscribe to my channel and check out the toss-out guides I have. Thank you and stay frosty.